Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm doing another pop culture deep dive, and this time it is on my favorite person ever, the icon, the legend, Miss Julie Ragbeer. And if you have no idea who that is okay, but just buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. So if you were not on the internet at all last year, then you would not have any idea who Julie is. However, she made a huge splash in February of 2024 when on the 22nd of that month, she started to go really viral because she paid Pop Tings, a very popular pop updates account, to promote her debut album, Perplex. Now, this isn't an uncommon practice in the music industry, especially for smaller artists. So why did it propel Julie in a way that it has not done for a lot of other small artists who pay, Pop Crave, Pop Bass, Pop Tings to promote a song or album that they put out? Well, I'm about to tell you because we're gonna start all the way back in the beginning. Julie Ragbeer is now 25 years old, but she's been making music since she was 19, and she really has truly never been able to break through. However, she has been running a Taylor Swift stan account for a very long time, so she knew the power of virality. She knew that if she could get one, viral moment on the internet, she could be put in front of the right people to really springboard her into the music industry. Julie first tried this tactic in 2019 when she paid Popgrave, which I'm sure you have heard of, an undisclosed amount of money to promote her song at the time, Rejected. And actually years later, Popgrave did delete that tweet, and Julie, was upset about this, rightfully so, and called Popgrave out on her Twitter to, ask for a refund because they did not honor the terms of their deal. And she even included receipts, but we'll come back to that later. Fast forward 5 years, we are now in 2024, and, Julie has gotten over that first bad experience with Popgrave, and she's like, it didn't happen for me the first time. It didn't go over the best. I didn't have the viral moment I was really looking for, but I'm gonna try again. And she messaged a lot of different pop culture Twitter accounts to really promote this debut album, Perplex, which she released in 2023. I think it was in July. She wanted to see if she could permeate the online community now, and she had saved up a lot of money, so she was sending her DMs, and Pop Tings actually responded. They agreed to promote this album, and they typically charge $100 to $500 a post, so Julie never said how much she paid for this, but those are their normal rates, so we're gonna assume it was within that. At the time of posting, it's also important to note that they had 165,000 followers. The iconic tweet was posted, here it is, and honestly, immediately it started to take off because people in the replies were like, what is this? Who is this girl? Because at the time, I think she had 15 monthly listeners on Spotify, so people were not used to seeing that small of an independent artist pay for promo like this, so the replies started going crazy, and then it got brought over to TikTok. Pop culture creators like myself posted about it for the first time, being obsessed with this random singer who just decided to pay a couple $100 and get Twitter, ablaze with this promotion. If you've been on Twitter the last couple days, you probably have seen the Julie Ragbeer discourse. But if you're not familiar, Julie Ragbeer is just some random girl who released a debut album and then paid Pop Tings, Pop Crave, all of those accounts to promote it. It has caused a stir on Twitter. The memes that have come out of this have been everything. And honestly, this is very smart marketing from Miss Julie because everyone is talking about this album. And again, when Julie first reached out to Pop Tings, she had 20 Twitter followers, and now she has 16.6 thousand. So virtually overnight, or within a few days, Julie became this niche internet micro celebrity where the mainstream would have no idea who she was. But if you went on Twitter or certain sides of TikTok, she was being talked about. And I'm not saying that because I liked talking about it. There were also a lot of other people that were, in on this kind of joke / not really joke, because then people really started to stream her music. Everyone was loving talking about Julie and making these viral clips, and it boosted her monthly listeners on Spotify to 60,000, which starting at 20 earlier in the week to end that month with 60,000 monthly listeners is absolutely crazy. I want to say the craziest part about all of this is Pop Tings almost didn't take her up on this offer to promote her album because they were asked by Yahoo News, who was doing an interview on this skyrocket of Julie Ragbeer and this viral internet moment, why did you decide to do this? And this is what they said. I'm selective with my posts and I don't post anyone who pays. I'm usually a fan of their work or enjoy their art. Julie just happened to be an outlier to that, which is really interesting that they just decided to pick Julie out of everyone. Clearly they didn't listen to her music, so they didn't really know what they were talking about. They just picked one of these people, that have asked them for paid promo because they said they get asked all the time, and decided to kind of throw them a bone, and it worked out so well. With Julie skyrocketing to pop stardom, Pop Tings also started getting a greater influx of smaller artists, asking to be promoted. One of them being Julie's producer, or a producer that helped on some of her songs on Perplexed, named Sebastian. And they also posted that because they were able to link Julie and Sebastian and get some extra engagement. And this viral wave really continued for a few weeks as people began to then listen to the music, review the album itself, and post snippets, to the point where some of them as audios on TikTok have thousands of videos with them. The top tracks that were being really picked out were Mary Whit and Calkins. I'm sure you know that one if you know the name Julie Ragbeer. And then Nothing, and also Fight Against Your Fleshy Lusts. Through this experience, though, Julie actually was able to create a niche, cult internet following, and she became really active on Twitter, was tweeting back to a lot of people who were chatting her up. She was saying yes to every single interview, and people just loved the memeability of this moment. Around the same time, there were edits of her album score with Pitchfork having either a 0.1 score or a 9.0 score, going super viral as well. I'll insert these screenshots. And then also just edits of her music being reviewed by Rolling Stone, Billboard. There was a side of the internet that was really in on this, and they were posting these edits, they were posting Julie's music, and it was helping out her streams tremendously. Again, all of this stuff contributed to that end 60,000 monthly listener quota. I think it's also worth mentioning that during this time, the internet really felt like a fever dream. This was during the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience, or failed experience. It was during the Madam Web of it all. It was during the girl who sat outside of the Taylor Swift concert while she heard Exile play inside, and she was screaming. So Julie just kind of got lumped in because all those things got viral within the same few weeks of each other. So it just got to a point where they were all getting put in to the same big meme tweets. So people were seeking Julie out as well that way when they saw it in the context of other memes that were going super viral around that same time, because it just felt so crazy scrolling through Twitter and TikTok those few weeks. On March 4th, she was even asked to curate a playlist for Interview Magazine, and this is what they had to say about her, which Interview Magazine does a lot of high-profile interviews, so the fact that they, one, had Julie do this for them, and two, had this to say about her means a lot. This edition is brought to you by viral bedroom pop sensation Julie Ragbeer, who shot to mother status overnight with the help of some potentially paid promo from the popular news aggregator account Pop Tings. On her debut album, Perplexed, the singer-songwriter, Jersey native, and avowed Swiftie sings about breaking free from fleshy lusts over heavy reverb, and in her YouTube video, she can be seen channeling teen angst in her bedroom, strewn about with posters of her favorite pop stars. Ragbeer is wasting no time, and her stans already have a name: the Ragdolls. Naturally, we invited Ragbeer to make us a playlist for this week's sound advice of the songs that got her in her feels when she was 19. After that initial month, things did slow down for Julie, unfortunately, but of course, we all know virality is not something that is long-standing. You need to create longevity yourself. But as I said, she was able to form the Ragdolls. She did what she needed to do. She created a base, and that was a springboard into, what we're going to continue to talk about, which is her rise throughout the rest of the year, because this happened starting at the end of February, and we still have many months left to go until where we are now in 2025. She then went back to doing what she does best. She herself has said she's never been to a recording studio. She writes her songs and records them in her bedroom. She sends them off to be produced, and she went back to that. She started writing, producing, recording her second album, JR2, but then in a crazy turn of events, she started to pick up again at the end of the year, and it was for something that I don't think any of us could have predicted, and that was a very viral tweet saying that Luigi Mangione, if you don't know who that is, please just look him up. It had to do with the United Healthcare situation, but one of his playlists on Spotify had a Julie Ragbeer song in it. Now, this was most likely edited, but it went insanely viral on Twitter, and people knew that name Julie Ragbeer from earlier in the year, and they were like, there is no way that Luigi was playing Julie songs. And of course, during that time, I like jumped so quick to start making TikToks about this. Like, I thought it was the funniest thing ever that someone even thought to make this edit happen. And the Juliazance started up again. She gained a few thousand more Twitter followers. She was getting more engagement again. Her monthly listeners were rising even more. Because remember, like, monthly listeners, you have to listen every single month for that number to stay high. In February, March, she was like 40, 60,000. And then it really, really took a dip when she was kind of out of the spotlight. But then it started to climb up again with the Luigi moment, to the point where I think she ended 2024 with like 8,000 to 9,000 monthly listeners, which was a big step up. She was tweeting about it like every single day leading up to the end of the year. And like the queen that she is, she capitalized on this moment by releasing a Christmas song titled I'll Find Joy in Christmas Again. It is definitely a sad track, and she did say that is more the vibe of Julie Ragbeer 2, her second album that will be coming out this year. She said JR2 and JR3 are coming out in 2025, but they're gonna have two different vibes. JR2 is going to be, it's gonna be a sad album. It's gonna be a sad girl album, and that's totally fine. But JR3, we're gonna get those upbeat bops that we're really looking for. And I'm sorry, I like need to flex right now. After I started posting with the Luigi Mangione of it all, Julie's team actually reached out to me, and we were in contact at the end of 2024. She said, like, I've been seeing all the videos you've been making about me. Can I please send you a signed Perplex vinyl? And that is exactly what she did. She even gave me a shout out on Twitter for helping her with her monthly listeners. There's a lot of people on TikTok that are like, I listened to Julie Ragbeer because of you. And so that is why I wanted to make this too, because a lot of people, you know, want to know the full story, and here it is. But I will say, like, this girl is genuinely really sweet. She wrote in Sharpie on the cover of it being like, to Holden, thank you for remembering me and for those lovely TikToks about me. Love you, Julie. With it, she included a literal 4-page note. I'm not gonna read you guys the whole thing, but I will show that it is a handwritten note decorated with Christmas lights, and it was genuinely very, very nice. She thanked me for, you know, always posting about her, even when she wasn't, you know, at her full viral power like she was in February, March. And I'm really excited to see what she does in 2025. And I'm not kidding. She's a hard worker. She seems like a fun girl. And I think that she played this the best that she could have. Like, she was smart with it. In 2024, in this era of the internet, like, you need to have that viral moment to break through in the music industry. That's just a fact. And with smaller independent artists that do not have a label, it is extremely hard to do so. So, you know, you can throw a couple $100 at some of these accounts and they'll make you thousands and thousands of dollars and, you know, really, really springboard an amazing music career. So I had to talk about this. It's extremely niche. I'm sorry if you don't know who this is. But I felt like for my second video, I wanted to do another super niche one of this channel. Like, I want to do things that are not on the internet. Like, a Club Chalamet deep dive, I could not find it. A Julie Ragbeer deep dive, I'm the only one that would ever do that. So this is my space to do deep dives about things that, like, I feel like no one else would. And I'm happy about that.